In the previous video, I showed you how to change the brake pads on this motorcycle. Now, I will show you how to remove the front and rear tires and get them refurbished. Before you watch this video, subscribe now. Grab a 40mm wrench to hold the bolt. And a 70mm wrench to loosen the nut. Whack it with a hammer to hasten the process. The rear of this Honda Wave has been converted by the previous owner, so there will be some variations on the process when it comes to the original setup. Now push the bolt out of the way to completely remove it. Remove the bolt that holds the brake caliper bracket. Set the brake assembly aside. This washer is placed between the hub spacer and the brake assembly. The chain tensioner is rusted. This will also be replaced with a new one. Hit the bolt to remove it completely. Then pull it out of the way. Disconnect the chain from the sprocket. And the wheel is now detached from the swing arm. These chain tensioners are used to adjust the tension of the chain and as well as the direction or straightness of the wheel and chain. Both sides have spacers. The wheel bearing is in a bad condition, so it will also be replaced too. The hub has a clearance when rotated from side to side. This indicates that the rear wheel rubber dampers are worn out. This wheel dampers absorbs the forces that comes from the gearings to the chain and sprockets, preventing it to shock the gearings. It serves as a protection to prevent the gearings, sprockets, and other metal parts to wear out. This wheel also has a missing spoke. Prolonged use can ruin the wheel's centeredness and balance. Spray some penetrating fluid on the bolt. Use a 40mm wrench for the bolt and 90mm for the nut. Loosen it completely. Since I have jack stands, I will use it to hold the front end. You can use or improvise other things too. Hit the bolt and pull it out of the way. Then pull the wheel assembly. I will temporarily return the bolt on the hub to keep it in place. You can also remove the brake pad by loosening hanger pins on the caliper to make it easier for the installation process. Click the link on the screen if you want to know how to change the brake pads on your motorcycle. Both sides of the front wheel has spacers too. So here we are in the shop, and just to remind you that this happened before the pandemic. The wheel assembly was completely disassembled. This is for the rear and this one is for the front. The rim is currently installed with a new set of wire spokes, or sometimes referred here in the Philippines as rayos. It takes time for the installation and alignment of the rayos or spokes to get it done properly. And now that the alignment is done, he will now put grease on the bearing and install it on the hub. He didn't use any press tool, just a hammer and a punch tool. The rims are now being fitted with new tires. And now that we're back and the wheels are nicely refurbished, it's time to reinstall it. Since the tires have thicker profiles than the previous ones, the front end needs to be raised in order to fit the new wheels. Grease every bolts and nuts before reinstalling it back to the motorcycle. Insert the bolt and spacer. Don't forget to put grease on the spacers. Fit in the new wheel. Hit the bolt with the rubber mallet to insert it. Reinstall the nut and tighten it snug. Wipe off the excess grease. Time for the rear end. This is how the rear wheel looks like. The first step is to connect the chains to the sprocket. This is the bolt and spacers that holds the wheel. Clean the surface with a wire brush. This is where the chain tensioner is placed. Wipe off the excess and remaining dirt and grease. This is the new tensioner, and I will put grease onto the surface to prevent it from any rust buildup. Place the spacer between the swing arm and sprocket. And now insert the bolt. Don't forget to place the spacer on the other side of the rim. Since the rear is converted, I have this brake assembly bracket to be installed between the rim and the swing arm. Put the washer first before the brake assembly bracket. Push the bolt all the way. Reinstall the bolt that holds the bracket. I realized that I forgot to reinstall the brake caliper on the bracket. In order to insert it to the bracket, pull the bolt to release the bracket. Then pull the bracket and insert the brake caliper. Put it back in place and push the bolt all the way in. Put some grease and place the chain tensioner on the swing arm. And then reinstall the nut. Before you tighten the nut, be sure to adjust the chain tension in order to align the rear end. I will upload a short tutorial video about chain adjustment soon. This is now the result of the new front and rear tires. It looks a lot better with thicker tire profiles. I hope you enjoy and find this video helpful. Subscribe now for more videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to keep you guys updated whenever I release a new video. Thank you very much and God bless.